Well, good morning. It's a beautiful day up here on the mountain above Beaver, Utah. We're fixing to go on our long ATV loop ride today, where we ride from the top of the mountain all the way down to Beaver, have lunch, and then, okay, as I was saying, trailblazers, before my battery died, we're getting ready to go on our big loop from the top of the mountain above Beaver down around to Beaver on an ATV trails, and then circle back around. These are 50-inch trails, and there's several different trail numbers, so I'll make sure I let you know when we change from trail to trail. But it should be a good day. We're gonna start early and probably get home late, but we're taking the maiden pretty long voyage on the new Can-Am and my Sportsman 850. So should be good. Stay tuned. All right, we're just leaving camp. Getting ready to head out on this fun loop. This is one of my favorite loops up here. The only negative this year is it's super dusty. I mean, it is so dusty. It looks like it hasn't rained for quite some time. But I guess we'll live with it. So out of here, we're camped up on, it's just called Big Flat. It's up on top of the mountain above Puffer Reservoir, about 4 miles. And there's lots of camping in these trees up on top. Actually, for middle of July, there's all these spots are open. There's nobody in there. So we're heading south down the trail out of where camp was. This is, but we're gonna go this way. Okay, we're just headed down the trail. This is actually, I don't know why I said I didn't know what trail number is. This is part of Paiute 01, main Paiute Trail. So from camp, you run down this and we're gonna hit the road that goes down towards Junction. We're gonna cross the road to Junction here shortly. Paiute Trail right there, 01. So here to the left is a side trail. Well, we're not going to go that way. That's side trail 29. We're going to stay to the right. We're going to stay on Paiute Trail 01. Beautiful day up here today. Riding in a t-shirt. Perfect temperature. It's probably 75 degrees. It's gonna get a little hotter by the time we get to the bottom of the mountain, but it'll still be doable. Okay, this is a sign about the Pole Creek Fire Rehab. Wildfire burned 10,000 acres here in 1996. Looks like it's growing back pretty good. These mountain trails like this are my favorite. You get down in the trees, you get on a fairly aggressive little trail. A lot of fun. So this is something that you see quite often up here, which really ticks me off. So we just stopped for a little break here, and this camper's sitting here. Nobody around. Who knows how long it's been here? The rangers don't do their job up here. They should be coming by, seeing who, putting a date on this trailer, because the rule is you can camp for 16 days and then you have to move. You have to move it. Nobody ever comes by and dates them. And what a lot of people do up here is they just leave they just drop their camper off and they leave it there all summer. And then they'll come up on the weekends and spend a couple days, and then they'll leave it and go back, which is a bunch of crap. But anyway, please don't do that. It just takes away from other people's experience, and it's being truly selfish when you do that. All right, we're here with David from Idaho Falls, and he is riding this trail for the first time, so we're gonna get his first impressions on what he thinks of the trail so far.
Beautiful country up here. I don't know why all the Utahns come up north to Idaho. This is so beautiful around here. I wouldn't be leaving this spot. For a 50-inch, 60-inch trail, it's very doable so far. Just real easy going, a little rocky at some points, but nothing too severe. I do miss being on the Razor. It's a lot more comfortable, but we do appreciate these smaller trails to allow us more access. So really good so far. I give it a 5-star.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we're all on 4-wheelers today, so 50-inch or less. Beautiful meadow out here. Okay, we're starting out on our 50-inch trail. This is the first spot where it goes to 50-inch. This is Paiute Side Trail number 88, and it's a black diamond, most difficult. They call it Betchison Flat. Paiute Side Trail 88, open to 50-inch vehicles. This is where it starts to get good. These woods are just beautiful, beautiful. I recommend this Paiute Side Trail 88. There's our guide, Mrs. Trail Explorer. We're still staying left here on Paiute Side Trail 88. head through it. To be back in the day that all there were 50-inch trails. Almost every mountain trail was 50-inch, because really nothing bigger than that existed. And then as side-by-sides have come along, more and more and more people have moved to side-by-sides and away from ATVs. But these 50-inch trails just don't get ridden like they used to. This one looks like it's had a fair amount of traffic just because it's such a dang good trail, but almost all the 50-inch trails up on this mountain are way better than the bigger trails that you can take your side-by-side on. So that's why we keep our ATVs. That's why we just bought brand new ones, because we love riding on trails like this. And I don't want to ever miss out on these trails and just have to ride the bigger roads. Now, what would be nice is if the Forest Service would get their heads out of their butts and take a trail like this and expand it. There's no reason this trail couldn't be ridden by a side-by-side. There's no reason. I mean, there are a few spots that are narrow, but this easily can be expanded for a side-by-side. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's kind of nice that the side-by-sides can't come on it, because if you're like me, you just like to get out here and not see anybody or no people and cruise along. So that's kind of nice. You'll probably not see anybody today on this video as we're going down through these 50-inch trails, because nobody rides them. But it does limit your side. We have side-by-sides as well. It does limit where you can take your side-by-side, and I'd love to be able to take my side-by-side down these trails to run into beaver. So it's a double-edged sword. But to me, if they would just open them up to everybody, I mean, a lot of machine stock now are 72 inches. They really should just make all of these trails 75 inches wide or less. That would really open it up for everybody to be able to come out here and enjoy these trails. But for now, I guess we have no choice but to take it how it is, and we're just going to enjoy it as a 50-inch. Trail 67. This drops off the side of the mountain. It's pretty much down all the way, dropping off the mountain. Fun trail though. We're gonna get to a point where we tried to come down this last year, and there was a big fire burning on this side of the mountain. So we're gonna get to probably some burn spots. I hope it doesn't look too bad, because it's just a beautiful trail. We weren't too far past this when we got turned around by the fire crews, saying it wasn't safe to drive down the trail. On to Trail 68. behind on time today. We've only come 19 miles. And it's taken us, we left at 9:30, almost 3.5 hours to go 19 miles. We're averaging like 4 to 4.5. This is the main road that takes us on into Beaver. Alright, we made it to Beaver. We like to come in and have lunch here at the drive-in. Middle of town, Beaver. Really good food. So if you're in Beaver, try them out. We're going to grab a few things from the grocery store here in a second. And then we're going to head back up the mountain. So we'll see you in a few. Alright, we're just leaving out of Beaver to get back on the trail. You come up 600 north, headed east, until you see this main highway that turns off to the left. And then there's a trail along this highway for a while. Doesn't look like it's had much action. It looks like it's getting pretty overgrown, so I don't know why nobody's riding this one, but hopefully we can find our way back onto, I believe it's Trail 5. We're going to go to Trail 5. This is where you want to turn here at this tabletop trailhead. Kind of hard to find. This has not been ridden much. Kind of shocked. It's right by this big hay barn. That's where you get on Trail 5 right here. Alright, so we're just coming out of Beaver. There's Beaver Town over there. We're on Trail 5. We're just to the spot where it starts heading up the mountain. Pretty rocky. It gets pretty steep here in a minute. Super steep at a few spots. But it's pretty warm down here in the valley, so we're looking forward to gaining a little elevation. Probably like 91 here right now, which is pretty warm.
timber starting to cool off. Section was burned about 5 years ago. Doesn't look like it's recovered much. Trail 5, getting up towards the top. We're about close to 10,000 feet again now, so the temperature's perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. almost back to camp. Just got back up on top to the main road here. Looks like we gone 63.7 miles today. It seemed like more than that, but it wasn't. Sounds like here come our other people, so we're gonna go on back into camp. Another trailer just left. Boy, that ticks me off. No truck, no camper, no side by sides, no nothing. Just a trailer. How many days is it going to sit there and take up that spot that somebody else can't use it?
people are here.
What?
Why you wearing that like gypsy?
This?
No, like that. What about like gypsy?
The four-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Hey, Weston. How are you? You guys are on YouTube right now. You know that? I'm filming this for YouTube.
Cool.
You're gonna.
Why are you doing that?
You're gonna be able to watch yourself. Hey, Joseph.
How we doing?
You want to see how good I am at riding my dirt bike?